Good morning, children. Today we will start with the fourth chapter of geography, air. Okay, have you seen air? Can we see air? Air is invisible, but still air exists and we breathe in air. Okay, so we will discuss about air today and what is air and how it is utilized by the human beings and other living organisms. Okay, our earth is surrounded by a huge blanket of air called atmosphere. We have studied in the previous classes what is atmosphere. Atmosphere is a blanket of air, which means a cover of air surrounding the earth. Earth on the earth's surface or above the earth's surface we can atmosphere we can call the region where the air is surrounded. Okay, particular areas the air is surrounded the earth. Okay, we say huge blanket of air, or which means the envelope of air, or the air is surrounding the earth or earth's surface, which is called atmosphere. All living beings on the earth depend on the atmosphere because even human beings, animals and all living organisms depending upon air. Air is necessary for the survival. It provides us the air we breathe and protects us from the harmful effect of the sun rays. The sun rays, we know that sun rays is falling on the earth and the atmosphere protects the people, and atmosphere protects all the living beings from the extreme heat of the sun. Okay, so without this blanket or atmosphere, we would be baked alive. Because of the baked means we know that it is extreme hot. The temperature of the sun is extreme hot and we cannot bear it. Okay, so everything on the earth's surface will be burned if there is no atmosphere. So we can say the atmosphere is filtering the sun's heat. So and during the daytime it will be very hot, and even at night it will be extreme cold if there is no atmosphere. So this mass of air made the temperature on the earth is livable. We are able to live on the earth because of the protection of the atmosphere, because of the presence of atmosphere. So here in this chapter we will study now what are the composition of the atmosphere, what type of gases are existing. We know that atmosphere means there are many gases, many types of gases, not only one. We know we breathe in oxygen and we send out carbon dioxide. Not only these two types of air or gases, there are many types of gases existing in the atmosphere. So here we know the air we take inside while breathing is a mixture of several gases. Okay, there are many types of gases, nitrogen and oxygen. These are the gases which make up the large quantity of atmosphere. Largest is the nitrogen, about 78%. Then oxygen and carbon dioxide. Many other gases are also available. Also found here water vapor. All these are found in the dust particles, are also found in the atmosphere. So many types of gases are there, mixture of gases. Okay, carbon dioxide, helium, ozone, argon, hydrogen, and these are all found in the less quantities. But other things like tiny particles of dust also is found in the atmosphere. Okay, so this nitrogen is the most plentiful gas. We know that we have already studied 78% of percent is in the atmosphere is nitrogen. So this is the most plentiful gas, but we breathe in oxygen only. When we inhale, we take some amount of nitrogen also along with oxygen. Some nitrogen also inhale in our body. Okay, so but plants need nitrogen for the survival. Here we know that even that nitrogen is available largely. Plants use nitrogen. Okay, we are breathing in oxygen, but nitrogen is utilized by the plants. They cannot take nitrogen directly from the air. Bacteria is there, so that live in the soil and roots of some plants take nitrogen from the air and change it in its form so that plants can use it. Nitrogen is taken by the bacteria which lives in the soil or in the atmosphere. They change this nitrogen into other forms so that plants can utilize. From the soil, plants utilize the nitrogen. So oxygen is the second most plentiful gas in the air, about 21%. Oxygen after nitrogen, oxygen is the next plentiful large quantity is available, which is 21%. So human beings and animals take oxygen from the air as they breathe. Okay, so green plants produce oxygen. Plants produce oxygen while during the photosynthesis. We know that we have studied in science about photosynthesis. During the photosynthesis, green plants produce oxygen. In this way, oxygen content in the air remains constant. We know that they are letting out oxygen and producing oxygen. Plants produce oxygen, and so that it remains in the atmosphere. We breathe in. So animals and human beings breathe in oxygen, which is always available. If we cut trees, then the balance gets disturbed. We know that when we are cutting the trees and removing the forest, all these balance of oxygen will be reduced. We know that oxygen is necessary for the survival of human beings and animals. It is available due to the presence of plants only. When we are cutting the trees, this balance will be disturbed. Carbon dioxide is another important gas. Green plants use carbon dioxide to make their food and release oxygen. So carbon dioxide is another important gas which is absorbed by the, which is taken into taken in by the plants also for their making food, and they let out oxygen which is useful for the human beings also. The amount of carbon dioxide released by the human beings or animals seem to be equal to the amount used by the plants, which make them a perfect balance. We know that when we are inhaling oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide, so this carbon dioxide is utilized by the plants. Okay, so this balance is in upset by burning fuels also, such as coal and oil. When we are burning all this fuel, and the quantity of carbon dioxide increases. Okay, so burning coal or other things, the smoke comes out. We know that due to that, carbon dioxide quantity in the atmosphere increases. So they add billions of tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere each year. The quantity of quantity of carbon dioxide increases in the atmosphere because of burning of coal or other type of fuels, so that carbon dioxide is increasing. As a result, the increased volume of carbon dioxide is affecting the weather and climate. Due to the increasing quantity of carbon dioxide, our climate and weather is affected. There is imbalance, because the quantity of oxygen reduces, the quantity of carbon dioxide increases. We know that when air is heated up, it expands and becomes lighter and goes upwards in the atmosphere. When the heat increases, the extreme heat increases, the air expands, become lighter, then it moves upward. This cold air is denser and heavy. It becomes when it becomes colder, when it moves upward, the air moves upward, lighter air moves upward, it becomes cold and it becomes heavy in the higher part of the atmosphere. So that is why it tends to sink down. When the hot air rises, cold air form in the surrounding area, okay, rushes to fill the gap. We know that when this hot air moves upward, the surrounding regions, the lower regions becomes colder, and here also it becomes denser. The density of air becomes more in the lower layer, so that this is how air circulation takes in place. When what happens when the air is heated, the it expands and becomes lighter, okay, and which goes upward. This surrounding region or the lower region becomes colder air will be filled there, and this surrounding region become denser. Okay, so here carbon dioxide is released in the atmosphere, creates a greenhouse effect by radiated from the earth. We want that when carbon dioxide, the quantity of carbon dioxide increases, a greenhouse effect creates in the on the earth surface. So it is therefore called a greenhouse gas, and would be without it the earth would have been too cold to live. We know that because of the presence of carbon dioxide, there is some sort of heat exerted, okay, so that we are able to live here. Otherwise, if there is no carbon dioxide, the earth's surface will be extreme hot or extreme cold also. When it in the when its level in the atmosphere increases, we know that we have already studied the when we are burning coal or other materials, the quantity of the carbon dioxide increases. Now we know there are industries and factories, these are also causing the quantity of carbon dioxide increasing in the atmosphere. So here in the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere increases due to factory smoke or car fumes also, the smoke emitted from the car also. The heat retained increases in the temperature of the earth. This is called global warming, which means what is global warming? The quantity of carbon dioxide increases and the earth becomes warm. The whole entire globe or the entire earth becomes warmer, so that this is called the global warming. The temperature, we know that every year it is increasing on the earth's surface because of the more quantity of carbon dioxide produced. Tomorrow we will study the remaining of the lesson.